Okay, so good day class. So we are now sa aton nga chapter 5 or sa Parasitology because we're already finished na sa Bacteriology. Parasitology is the study of mga parasite. Okay? So for your parasites, so they are separate nga microorganism. So you have here your parasitologism or mga overview sa aton nga parasitology. So first of all, you have the definition for your parasitology or parasitism. So you have three general environments and are available for life as we know it. So you have your terrestrial, aquatic, and biotic. By the definition of your parasites are those animals which occupies the last niche, okay, in order to live or sa aton nga other species, their host. Your parasitism is a form of a symbiosis and intimate relationship between two different species. This explain why your parasitism may lead to disease, but not always. Create an often long or lifelong relationship for their parasite, which cannot survive without its host, while it is often claimed, even by definition, that a parasite must damage its host in some way to distinguish parasitism from your commensalism kag mutualism. So you have here a differentiation sa imong commensalism and mutualism sa parasitism because we are talking about mga parasites. Okay, so you have here your commensalism. Okay, it is an association between your two organisms in which one benefits and the other derives neither benefit nor harm. Ibig sabihin, uh, requirement lang sa imo organism or species ang imo host. Hindi siya mag-cause either harm or makahatag man benefit sa iyang host. Now, for your mutualism is defined as an interaction between two individual or different species that results in a positive beneficial effects on per capita reproduction and or sa survival sa interacting population. Ibig sabihin, ang parasite will give benefits sa host and the host will secure a place to live in sa imong nga parasite. Sa aton nga origin sa aton nga parasitology, okay, not surprisingly, all parasitic organisms have free living counterparts to which they are clearly related, and the greatest diversity of your parasite is still found within the alimentary tracts of a higher animals. As a host species diverge from their evolution, they carried with them their parasites. It is virtually the role today for your parasitic protozoa and your mga helmets found in your vertebrate species have almost identical relatives in uh, human colon and also sa aton nga amoeba or histolica and for your E. coli and almost identical relatives within a wide range of your vertebrate nga hosts. Okay, there are your E. homosyovsky, a species that has been found only in your sewers, which probably evolved from your parasitic species, your E. gingivalis or your Entamoeba gingivalis occurs only on your human mouth and lost its cystic stage, presumably because your tropocytes and sufficient transferring between your hosts. So may mga terms kita na yung mga tropocytes, mga cystic stage will be defined later sa aton nga module. The same occur within your helmets. For example, your roundworm sa aton nga humans small intestine, your Ascaris lumbricoides as the counterpart in your pig, cat, dog, mga flying foxes, also sa ating elephants, dolphins, and many other nga mga mammals. For your parasitism, clearly has an advantage over independent existence. For your parasites greatly outnumber free living animals, both in terms of your individual and species. From an evolutionary viewpoint, it is your ultimate lifestyle. The obvious benefits to the parasite is that its host provides great and relatively stable, nourishing home. The energy saved in your food seeking, also sa nga shelter kag transport, is being concentrated on the production or reproduction sang mga parasite kag pag-invade sa host defense mechanism which all provoke in virtually every case, although not always obviously. So you have here mga assemblages sa aton nga mga parasites, mga example. So you have your many types of your organism have adapt a parasitic mode of existence that is required a host and their survival. You have your three major groups at ang parasite are being recognized your protozoans. Okay, pink belongs to the kingdom Protista and your helmets. Okay, and your arthropods. Okay, belongs to the kingdom Animalia or Metazoa. So what is Protozoa? Okay, over 10,000 species of a single-cell protozoa have been described in the gut, blood, or tissue of your vertebrate and your invertebrate ng mga host. Your parasitic flagellates causing ecteric diseases such as your Giardiasis, your urogenital diseases such as your trichomoniasis, systematic diseases such as your sleeping sickness, and your tissue diseases such as your Chagas disease and Kala-Azar. Your parasitic amoeba causes dysentery, encephalitis, your corneal lesion, and mga spore-forming protozoa causes many serious diseases. You have also your apico apicomplexia caused by a coccidiosis and your malaria and tick fevers. Your microspora parasites sa aton nga fish and also sa insects, you have your uh, ascetospora caused by seasonal mortalities in your oysters, and your parasitic ciliates cause diarrhea or lesion in your human and animal, while your commensalism or commensal ng mga species causes serious fouling problems in aquaculture. Then sa itong mga helminths or do mga worm-like, you have your around 5,000 species of your multicellular nga mga helminths or your worm have been described from a wide range of your hosts. Your roundworms, which is your nematode, causes much morbidity and mortality in your humans and animals throughout the world. Serious infections including your filariasis, hookworm, and mga threadworm diseases. Ang ilang larva and adult tapeworm, which is your cystode, may be found in many vertebrate nga hosts. Some species do not cause your clinical diseases, whereas others may cause severe weight loss, diarrhea, abdominal pain, and space-occupying lesions. Then you also have your flukes, which are your trematodes, includes many important species. Sa aton nga, you have your sheep, liver fluke, and human schistosomes or mga blood flukes. Sa aton nga arthropods, you have your mga insect types. Your arthropods are you have thousands of arthropods are parasitic in some stages in their life cycles. Many cause serious diseases and limits agricultural productivity. The parasitic insects includes biting and sucking lice, which may cause skin lesions and anemia. Your fleas may be cause some allergic dermatitis and various flies when suck blood as adult or produce larvae which feed on their host tissue. You have example of a bot fly. You have a parasitic arachnid, includes your ticks which feeds on the blood and causes anemia or paralysis. And you have your mites which feeds on the skin and causes mild itching, hair loss, and severe mange. Okay, for your food-borne parasites, you have numerous parasites that can transmit by food, inducing many protozoans and also your helminths. In your US, the most common food-borne parasite or mga protozoans such as your Cryptosporidium species, your Giardia intinalis, your Cyclospora cayatinensis, your Toxoplasma gondii, or mga roundworms such as your Trichinella species, your Aniscasis species, your tapeworm, which is your Diphyllobutrium species and your Tahinia species. Okay, many of these organisms can also be transmitted by water, soil, kag person-to-person contact, occasionally in the US. But often in the developing mga countries, a wide variety of your helmintic roundworms, your tapeworms, kag mga flukes are transmitted in food such as mga undercooked nga mga fish, mga raw, mga crabs, kag your mussels. And also mga undercooked na mga meat, your raw aquatic na mga plants such as your mga watercress, your raw vegetable that have been contaminated by a human or animal feces. Okay. Some foods are also contaminated by food service workers who practice poor hygiene or who work in unsanitary mga facilities. Yung mga symptoms ng mga foodborne parasites, infections vary greatly depending on what type of your parasite. For protozoa such as your Cryptosporidium species, your Gardenia intestinalis, your Cyclospora hyacinensis most commonly cause your diarrhea and other gastrointestinal symptom. Mga helmintic naman yung class, ang mga roundworms, your infections can cause abdominal pain, diarrhea, mga muscle pain, mga cough, skin lesions, your malnutrition, weight loss, neurological, and many other symptoms depending on the particular organism and burden sa imong infection. Aside pa gid is ang ilang site sa ilang infection. And also ang ilang treatment available for most of our mga foodborne parasitic. So let us proceed sa aton na first nga parasite. Cryptosporidium. Okay? Cryptosporidium is a microscopic parasite that causes a diarrheal disease or diarrhea. Kapit lang ako. Diarrhea or cryptosporidiosis. Both the parasite and the disease are commonly known as crypto. Okay, these are many species of your Cryptosporidium that infects your animals, some on which also infects animals. The parasite is protected by an outer shell that allows it to survive outside the body for a long period of time and makes it very tolerant to chlorine disinfection. While this parasite can be spread in several different ways, such as your water, okay, ang mga drinking source, and recreational water, is the most common way to spread this parasite. Cryptosporidium is the leading cause of waterborne diseases among humans. Okay, usually mga studies or ito na reference is in US based because sa halin sa book. We have here your Cryptosporidium nga life cycle. Hindi tayo pagpadalman because hindi agad makamundaan fully focus sa cycle, ay life cycle sa atong parasite. I-make sure ta lang is you know ang atong source, what type yung mga disease kag ang iyang life cycle. Hindi ka magpadalman. You have here ang imong Foodborne species. Okay? Start ka mo sa number 1. Okay? So, i-flow mo lang flow chart. So, thick walled oocyst. Okay, oocyst ang iyang first na form. Okay? You're sported sa wasang host. Then, it contaminates your water. Okay, it's either drinking water or recreational. O recreational sa mga pools muna. So, it's either matulon mo ang water pool then or sa mga drinking water. It will infect you with your contaminated water sa mga oocyst. Then, ang mga tick wall oocyst is being ingested na sa host or makadto sa imong body. So, what happens in your body? Okay, so you have here in this sa part. Okay, sa blue part, you have your small intestine. Okay, sa small mga intestine, this is what happens. Okay, start ka mo sa letter A. Your oocyst will form a sporocyte. Okay. A sporocyte will then enter your intestinal lining. Okay, then it will form into a trophocyte. Okay. It's either it will have your asexual nga reproduction where it will multiply. Then, it will form your merocyte. Okay. Your merocyte, okay, it will form your asexual nga cycle. You have both two types of or reproduction form niya. You have your asexual and sexual. Sexual is where you may both female and male siya nga gene. It will form or para mag-multiply siya. Ang asexual is it will just form like do egg type nga do multiply siya sa sulod. That is what you call your asexual nga cycle. Proceed tadi sa iyang sexual. Okay. Sa mga sexual, you have your merion. Your type 1 nga merion, this is asexual. Okay. It will just multiply itself. Your asexual, your type 2 will have merocytes. Then you have your mga gametes or gametes. Where you have your micro gametes and your macro gametes. The microgametes will turn form into your zygotes. Okay. Then yung mga zygotes will either turn into a thin-walled na oocyst or magiging thick-walled oocyst for sporulation. Your sporulated is amo ni ang magbuhat-libuhat sa imong body para maka-infect ka sa water or iban nga source. Ang imong sporulated oocyst, it will just turn into auto-infection. Therefore, i-release siya liwat ang imong sporocyte sa imong small intestine. Then infect yourself, your intestinal lining again. And it's either maging sexual or sexual liwat nga reproduction. Okay, so is everything clear sa aton nga life cycle sa imong cryptosporidium. Now, let's proceed sa aton nga Giardia. Okay, is a microscopic parasite that causes your diarrheal illness known as your giardiasis. Your Giardia is also known as your Giardia intestinalis, Giardia lambia, or Giardia duodenalis. You have 3 species. Then it is found in the surface sa aton nga soil or sa food kag sa water that has been contaminated with the feces or poo from infected humans or your animals. The Giardia is protected by an outer shell that allows it to survive outside the body for a long period of time and makes it tolerant to chlorine disinfection, while the parasite can spread in different ways, okay, from your drinking sa ating water or refrigeration and same siya sa crypto. Here, mas less lang iyang life cycle. Okay, if start ka sa 1, it's a 1. The Protozoa is also passed down in a stool, but they don't survive sa environment. You have here your D. Okay, this is your D. This is your diagnostic stage. Okay, the diagnostic stage is amo na ginatanaw ng medtech. Okay, if may present siya sa amuna sa stool. Okay, you have your infective stage. Ang infective stage is what the form, okay, o mode sa imong parasite para saya pa lang na maka-infect siya sa tao. Sabihin, the diagnostic stage or sa among nga form, it is para sa iyang multiplication, okay, reproduction or sa iyang feeding. Then ang imong infective stage is for survival, okay, to ensure that the parasite will survive because your trophocyte will not survive sa environment. The cyst, okay, the cyst will give your parasite a greater chance of surviving. So you have here, ma-infect yung mga water, yung mga food, okay, matulog sa yung mga person, it will be infected. So din na yung infection site sa small intestine 1. You have your cyst, okay, the cyst 1 is your infected, di ba? If you are infected with the cyst, your cyst will transform into a trophocyte. Then your trophocyte, okay, will replicate itself. Okay? Then ang mga replicated or mga damo na mga Giardia lambia, okay, will turn into a cyst liwat to infect your water or really contaminate or auto-contamination. Now, di ba simple lang? Okay, compared mo sa mga crypto, wherein you have mga either sexual kag sexual, then you have your oocyst lang. Pero at least mas sapos na siya. Now, so sa aton din next, you have your Cyclosporasis. Okay, your Cyclosporasis is an intestinal illness caused by a microscopic parasite which is called your Cyclospora cyanidinensis. Okay, people can become infected with your Cyclosporasis consuming food or water contaminated with the parasite. People living in or traveling in countries where your Cyclosporiasis is endemic may be at risk for infection. So you have here picture of your Cyclosporasis. You have here A, B, C, D, E. Okay, for your A is then starting sa A. Okay, start pa lang sa sporulate or mag-multiply. We have here sa atong A. So your Cyclospora is starting to replicate itself for reproduction. For your letter B, ang imong oocyst, liwat, our oocyst, okay, that was being sporulating, oocyst that contains 2 immature sporocysts. This is still immature. Then for your letter C, okay, 1 free nga, you have here 1 free nga sporocyst shown as well as 2 free sporocytes. Okay, this is now your sporocytes. Then for your letter D, this is an oocyst. It is a mature na nga oocyst. A, makita mo man nga immature siya because wala pa siya ka take form of pure circle. Then you have your autofluorescent when viewed under an ultraviolet microscope. So this gamit kang microscope na UV, with UV. Now you have here ang iyang life cycle. Same gihapon, infected ang imo ka vegetables. A, start ka sa number 1. A, to identify if may infected ka is may oocyst ka nga makita sa stool. So you have oocyst unsporulated. Okay? 2, para you have to infect ang mga environment. Okay, then your oocyst sporulates in the environment. Ibig sabihin, it will multiply siya sa environment. Then your oocyst enters your sporolysis. Your sporulated oocyst enters your food chain. Okay? You have here logo. Okay, that logo signifies that it is the infective stage. Sabihin, the sporulated oocyst is your infective stage. You have here picture of a oocyst nga sporulated. So, kung ma-ingest sa imong human, ang imong source or sa imong site sa infection is the same nga small entity. You have here okay, number 5. So, number 6 is excitation. So, you have here the best picture. Excitation, nagwa ang imong sporocytes. Okay? Your sporocytes ay magiging sporocytes. Okay? Your sporocytes will invade your intestinal epithelium or lining. Then you have type 1 merion where it is replicating itself. Then you have your type 2 merion. Same yapon, either sexual or asexual. Then you have your micro megamites. Then it will form into a macro magdako. Then zygote. Your zygote, okay, will turn into an adult nga oocyst nga as related pa. Okay, that is your mangyapon i-excrete sa mga lawas to infect the environment kag reinfect or ma-infect man ang iban nga habo. So, let us now proceed sa aton nga toxoplasmosis. The toxoplasmosis is considered to be a leading cause of your death attributed sa atong foodborne illness sa US. Most 40 million men and women and children sa US carries your toxoplasma parasite, but very few have symptoms because the immune system usually keeps the parasite from causing illness. However, women newly infected with your toxoplasma during a short period of your pregnancy and anyone with a compromised immune system should be aware of your toxoplasmosis and can have severe consequences. Your toxoplasmosis is considered to be one of the neglected parasite infection of the US, a group of 5 parasite diseases that have been targeted by the CDC for public health action. So you have here picture of your Toxoplasma gondii. Okay. So halin ni siya sa mouse. Okay. Mouse aesthetic fluid smear. Medyo gamay atong picture. Hindi kita you have here picture of your mouse. So start ka. When you're looking here, you have to check ka sa number 1 video dapat. Okay? So sabihin ka makahalin sa mga infection. So halin sa fecal oocyst. Sabihin halin sa tae. Sabihin mo halin sa either sa animals or sa human. Okay? Then you have your number 2. It's either ma-infect sa cat. Okay? To confirm if it is an oocyst or sa bird, then you have your tissue cyst. Ibig sabihin, huwaon mo ang tissue part sa mga rat. Okay? Then you have your number 2, 4, cat. Then 5, it's either ma-infect mo ang the toxoplasma will infect a pig, sheep, or para sa usually mga food products nga meat. Then it will infect your person. Okay. Then a person will be infected sa toxoplasma. Okay. It will replicate itself. Okay. Then sa mga body. Okay, so as per nga ma-infect ka sa imo nga toxoplasma, it is from your mga infected nga mga food products such as mga meat kag also sa imong mga fruits, water. If infected or if contaminated by a stool. Okay, so you have here also Cyclosporasis is the disease that people can get by eating raw or uncooked meat from animals infected with your microscopic parasite Trichinella. Ay, lain na yung Trichinella. Lain na Toxoplasma lang is babaw. Lain na yung Trichinella, okay, your trichinosis, also called your trichinosis, at is a disease that people get from eating mga raw. This is your tapeworm. Okay? So, your Trichinella or Spiralis, Trichinella nga spiralis, okay, hindi sila yung tapeworm. Tayo niya galing sa tapeworm. So, Trichinella spiralis is a viviparous nematode. Okay, yung pagambal nematode, it's a roundworm occurring in rodent, pigs, bears, hyenas, and humans, and are responsible for the disease of trichinosis, and sometimes referred to be what you call your pork worm, due to being typically encountered in undercooked na mga pork products. So, to make sure gid class nga hindi ko ma-infect ang any type of parasite, make sure nyo gid nga well cooked gid ang inyong mga meat products aside pa gid your mga vegetables nyo, mga leafy, okay, dapat tinlugid na paghugas. So, dito na paggawa, same lang gihapon, halin sa mga uncooked gid or raw, it will infect your human. Hindi na pagpadalman, sa either ang imong parasite will live in your, ang adult form niya, it will live in your small intestine, or ang magstay siya as larva sa imong mga tissue. So, you have your picture of your spiralis or yung mga nematode sa Trichinella spiralis. Then you have your anisakiasis. Okay, it's a parasitic disease caused by anicacid nematodes. Okay, worms that can invade the stomach wall or intestines of your human. The transmission of this disease occurs when the infected larvae are ingested from a fish or squid that a human eat raw. So, mga hilig magkaon sushi or undercooked. In some cases, the infection is treated by removing the larvae via endoscopy or surgeon. So, it is invasive na surgery kit. So, you have here, sa ating left side, you have a coiled anisakic worm or Pseudoterranova discipient in a fillet of a cod. So, kita nyo yung orange nga ni. So, in the fillet of a cod, so this is the fish meat. A view of a center or sa anterior, so this is the head of your roundworm or sa imo nga anisakiasis or anisakid nga nematode. Then you have here a full adult nga worm. Okay, let's proceed. Have here, same hapon, either so usually it's daan sa marine products pero ma-infect ang human if magkaon ang human sang raw nga mga raw nga fish, okay, kay stay sila sa tissue sang isda. Then you have your Diphyllobothrium, okay, your Diphyllobothrium latum or related species of your fish and broad fish tapeworm. Okay, di ba may hambal kita may tapeworm man sa baboy, may tapeworm man sa fish. Okay, so this is the largest tapeworm that can infect your human. Okay, and can grow up to 30 feet long. Class na 30 feet long. While most infections are asymptomatic, most mga complications include your intestinal obstructions and gallbladder disease caused by a migration of your proglottids. Your diagnosis is made by identification of your eggs and segments ng aton nga tapeworm or ang iyang body parts ng tapeworm sa stool sample with a microscopic and safe and effective medications are available to treat your Diphyllobothrium infection and can acquire by, and this is being acquired from eating liwat, mga raw or undercooked nga fish, usually from North Hemisphere sa aton nga Europe, most independent states of your former Soviet Union, or North America, or NACAG Asia. But cases have been reported that your Uganda and Chile fish infected with your Diphyllobothrium larvae may be transported to consume in any case of the world, adequately by freezing or cooking your fish will kill your parasite. So, pwede mo sa mga frozen, nagpapatay na nadaan ang parasite na. I have here an image of your worm, and ang iyang microscopic image. Okay, you have here part, you have your scrolex. So your scrolex is your head or ang mo nang ga-attach sa stomach wall para maka-absorb siya sang nutrients. Ibig sabihin, kung hindi mo na makita ang head sa stool, kaya mo na kita pangita na mga medtech to ensure na patay na gidya bala ang tapeworm, okay, dapat makita mo ang scolex. Kung gaungot pa nagyapon or ga-attach pa nagyapon sa lining, it will still continue to absorb the nutrients and grow its segments or ang iyang lawas. Because the ang una daw iyang features sa ato na tapeworm is kung mautod man ang iyang lawas, it will just continue growing the filament. Okay? Sumpon lang na sa nga sumpon ng mga tapeworm. Here, same hapon siya sa Asciatis. Then, uncooked man. We have here. Kung yung ginambag ng mga segments, so isa yung mautod na siya. So, the next stage is kung may makita kang segments na there. Then you have your taeniasis. Okay, taeniasis is a human parasite infection caused by your tapeworm species, which is your Taenia saginata. Your Taenia saginata is from a beef, ibig sabihin mga cow. Then you have your Taenia solium, ibig sabihin niya is pork tapeworm alin sa baka. Then you have your, para sa hindi man sa pagiging racist, your Taenia asiatica, your Asian tapeworm. Humans can become infected with these tapeworms by eating raw or undercooked beef, which is your Taenia sagittata, and sa pork, your Taenia solium or Taenia asiatica. Okay, sa pork, it's either solium or asiatica. Okay, pero ginananagid yung Asian tapeworm ang asiatica. Okay, people with your Taeniasis may not know that they have your tapeworm infection because the symptoms are usually mild or non-existent. Your Taenia solium tapeworm infects can lead into your cystic fibrosis, which is a disease that can cause seizures. So it is important to seek treatment kung infected ka sa yung mga tapeworm. So same lang gihapon niyang diagnosis or sa iyang life cycle alin sa mga pork sa imong solium kag asiatica, and for your saginata is beef. Unang shortcut nila kasi is para mabalan mo kung pork siya, pork solium. So di ba nung next nga letter sa imong solium, it is so pork. Then for your isa, it is saginata. Ano lang asiatica is popod siya sa solium. Muna na. Mga ginakong tandaan sa board example. So we have here different na scolex head sa yung mga saginata rin sa beef. And for your solium, okay, this is the scolex, the head ang attached to us. Then, amo man galain ng ilang segment, hindi na napapudal man because hindi nyo man yung magamit as hindi makamok medtech. So, that concludes aton nga parasitology. So, the main point of our module here is as a food technologist, you need to ensure that your foods are being well cooked, hindi contaminated sa mga stool, kag ang proper hygiene when doing or preparing your food. So, God bless you all, class, and stay safe.